There's a problem with this chart.
Do you want to adjust the temperature?
Slightly. Oh, it's okay, no?
Yeah, it's okay.
Did you all try the homework? Did you all try the homework? With regard to ABC past papers questions. I think we tried Duff Company. Am I correct? Last questions. 3 more questions to be done, right? Because why I have brought that question, if you are going to get a questions where in the exam, I think I can manage them without my.
It will be good, sir.
Yeah, my throat will go. And keep. Okay, keep it over here. Okay. Right. Shall I give you a couple of minutes? Can you all try the questions where we have stopped in the last class? That's better because we will try that question and we can get started with a new topic. But I just gave it to you as a homework. You could have tried what at home. Excuse me. If you look at the question number 4, 5, those type of a question that can be tested not only sections B, even you can expect where section A. I have told you sections A, there will be what 15 OTQ questions. No, if you are going to get any theory based question, that will be the same base what I have given question number 4 and 5, right? But this is very good question. You know why? The one section B will be covered through what that questions. There are a number of past papers. The time does not permit us to discuss each and every past papers question. Then we will be doing the whole class only activity based question. Right? So we did one section C question and one section B past papers question, right? And one more question. Have you all got the questions, notes, pocket notes? Is it uploaded to you all? Did you all check the LMS? Everything has been uploaded. Just check. Is it your first class? First class, okay. You can access the recording and all. Huh? Please go through it. You have joined this PM online. Okay. And have you got any exemptions for year one?
Yes.
Okay. So because of the degree. Okay, great. Because one very important message that needs to be shared to you all, under any circumstances, don't miss PM class. Because you know why? Almost all the topics are interconnected. You remember, if you do not know what is traditional costing system, OAR calculations and all, it will be a problem for you to understand the activity-based costing. Am I correct or wrong? So likewise, almost 40 to 50% of the syllabus being what? Connected, interconnected. In case if you are unable to come for the classes, before you come for the physical class, try to make sure the recording of the previous class. And come for the class, it will help you to understand what we are doing the physical class. That's the best way of learning for PM. Don't get me wrong that I am putting the hard tone. Very, very challenging paper, including me. Because you know why? Sometime when I am getting the answers from you all, I'll be getting a lot of input from the student side as well. So it's a two-way approach. Sometimes even myself, I am also learning from through your answers. When it comes to the theory-based questions. That will be the input for me. I can use it for the next class. Therefore, you'll have to work with me. But I have given the homework. At least you could have tried this homework at home. Otherwise, no point of wasting time. Am I correct? Okay, question number 3. Question number 3. What it says. What's the requirement? Look at the requirement of the question number 3. Using activity-based costing, total overhead allocated to product Z amount Z, right? ABCC system. Total overhead is how much? 5. Yeah, okay. $576,583. Total overhead being allocated to what? Product Z. Now, let me know what is the number of units of Z. How many units we are producing? Z 22,000. This total cost is for how many units? 22,000 units. Therefore, what is the overhead based on ABC for per unit? Per unit overhead. These are bonus questions for you all. 26.2 dollars per unit. Do you all agree with me? This is the overhead, $26.2 per unit, only for the overheads. Only for the overhead for the product is it. Look at the requirement. What is the budgeted full cost of the production per unit? Per unit using what? Activity-based costing. Activity-based costing. But by using activity-based costing, we have found the overheads. Very straightforward, that is. Overhead per unit is how much? 26.2. To identify the total production cost, we need to add direct material and direct labor. So you know direct material, which is how much? $28 per unit. Direct labor, 84. $24 per unit. And we found the what? Overhead, ABC overhead. Overhead through what? ABC, which is how much? $26.2. Then the CPU, $78.21. Is that understandable? But the problem, this question is very, very straightforward. You don't need to do any calculation. 2 marks, I believe most of the students who did not understand the questions. If you would have understood the question, you could have got the what? Answer, not even spending about 2 to 3 minutes time. In 1 minute, where in the exam, you can get the answer. First, try to understand the question. What is given here? By using the activity-based costing, they have given in the question itself. The total overhead is how much? $576,583 for the total number of units, which is what? 22,000. 2000 units. Now we found what is the cost per overhead, per unit overhead, using what? ABC. That is giving you $26.2. With that, we'll have to add what? Material and labor. Then you can identify the production cost per unit using what? Activity-based costing. Otherwise, what you have to do? You have to calculate one by one. What is the setup cost for Z? What? But here, everything is given to you. This is the total amount. Everything is given to you. We'll have to work backwards and then we'll have to find out the answer. Is that clear? Is that clear? Right. Now, at least let me know the answer for question number 4 and 5. Theory-based question. Question number 4 and 5. Theory-based questions. Very good. Malavika. Thank you. Are you all okay? Online students? Are you all with me? Today, most of the people have joined through online. There are almost 21 students. In PM, whenever you get a chance of practicing the question, try your level best to pick the complicated questions. Why I'm telling the complicated question? Complicated question will teach you the whole topics. One complicated question, the question what we did yesterday, ZPLC. Do you remember that? We would be able to understand the whole part of what? Activity-based costing. When it comes to activity-based costing, you have to make sure that the steps, there are 5 or 6 steps. You can say 5 or 6, no problem. First, identify the what? Support activities. Second one is identify the what? Cost for the associated activities. Third one, identify the cost drive as to the reason why the cost is what? Incurred. Right? Fourth one is what? Number of cost drive. Fifth one is what? Cost driver rate. Finally, we'll have to charge the overhead to what? Products. You remember this question we discussed clearly in detail, because in a setup you are making X number of units. Then you have to know how many setups to be completed to complete what your production. Then the second part of the question itself, it says what? Purchase order for one batch this much. If you would have made a mistake for the number of batch, then it will what? Impact what? For answer for the what? Second part of what? Cost drive. The whole answer will be ultimately what? Wrong. Therefore, try to thoroughly read the questions, understand the question, and start to get the answer. Right. Question number 4. Which of the following statement about activity-based costing in Duff Company are correct? You have to be very careful. You have to be very careful. It's not a common question. It's not a common question. They are asking this question with regard to what? That particular company. With regard to what? That particular company. Before we answer for this question, roughly we check here comparatively overheads are more than the what? Direct cost. Do you all agree with me? Right. Let's go through the answers. ABC can be applied to all overhead costs, not just for the production overhead. Do you all agree with me? Yesterday, complete one question we discussed for what? Non-production overhead, which is for the what? Selling and distribution. Therefore, that statement is what? Correct. It can be applied not only for the production overhead, but also for what? Non-production overhead. ABC provides more accurate cost per unit for XYZ. As a result of pricing should be improved. That is one of the main advantage of what? Activity-based costing. We can set up proper what? Competitive what? Selling price we are in the market by using what? Activity-based costing. When compared with what? Traditional costing system, when the company is having what? More overheads than the what? Direct costs, prime cost. You understood my concept, no? Conditions, no? We can set up what? Competitive or decent selling price we are in the market, competitive environment. When the company is having what? More overheads than the what? Direct costs. By applying or by using what? Activity-based costing instead of what? Traditional costing system. Instead of what? Traditional costing system. That's the correct. Third statement. ABC recognize that overhead costs are not all related to production and sales volume of X, Y, and Z. Correct, no? We are recognizing not only the cost that is incurred with regard to the what products, but also for what? Sales. That is what is known as selling and distribution overhead. That is also correct statement. Fourth one, ABC will be limited benefit for if the company's overheads are primarily volume related, or if the overhead represent a small proportion of overall cost. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? If the overheads is last statement, if the overheads represent a small proportion of the overall cost, then we will be having a what? Limited benefit. We can enjoy the benefit only when if the company is having what? More overheads than the what? Direct cost. If you have comparatively more direct cost than the overhead, ABC will not give you the what? Benefit. It does not mean the ABC is wrong. It does not mean that the ABC is wrong. We can go with the what? Traditional method of charging the overhead to what? Products instead of what? ABC. Because ABC is a complex process. It will take time, right? So, very difficult to find out the cost driver for some overheads. If you are changing your cost driver, the total calculation will be what? Different. Change. Am I correct? Therefore, all four statements are correct. Therefore, what would be the correct answer? D would be the correct answer. D would be the correct answer. Question number 5. Question number 5. Using activity-based costing. Are you all okay, online students? Are you all okay? Excuse me. Any questions? No sounds. Right. Question number 5. Thank you, Dinesh. Question number 5. Using activity-based costing, the production cost of product X is very similar to the cost calculators using the traditional absorption costing. But the cost of the product Y is almost $10 less. Are you clear with the first question? What it says? If you look at X, whether you are using the activity-based costing or what? Traditional costing, it is giving you what? Quite similar answer. But if you look at product Y, you are getting what? $10 different. $10 different. Before we go through the answer, just have a look at the question first. X, direct material is 25, 30, batch size is 500, number of, okay. Number of units, X 20,000 units, Y 16,000 units. Okay, now let's read the answers, right? Demand for product X and Y is relatively elastic. Can you brief me what is exactly meant by elastic? we will be learning separately for that. There's a one chapter, pricing strategies, skimming pricing strategy, penetration pricing strategy, cost plus pricing strategy, right? Discounted based pricing strategies. Likewise, there are a number of pricing strategies available. I'm pretty much sure these concepts that you would have learned what in economics, elastic demand and inelastic demand. What is meant by elastic? How to calculate elasticity of demand? Change in price, change in quantity demand. What is meant by elastic? If there is a small changes in the price, the responsiveness of the quantity demand is what? Very high. That is what is known as elastic demand. We will be learning, no worries. The best example is what? If you look at the luxuries items, right? Say for an example, vehicle, BMW or Benz. If there's a small changes in the price, that will impact the what? Quantity demand more than the price changes. People are always looking for the what? Prices. If the government or the the supplier or the company is reducing the prices, then the quantity demand quickly what will increase. That is all about what? Elastic demand. What is meant by inelastic demand? Not much change, even though if prices are what? Changing. Best example, essential item. Rice, salt. Even the price are what? Increasing or decreasing, that will not much it does not mean there is no change. There will be a what? Small changes where in the quantity. That is what is known as inelastic demand. Inelastic demand. So this question says the product X and Y are what? Elastic. Elastic. Then there's a problem with the product Y. There's a problem with the what? Product Y, because two system is giving you what? Two different answers. $10 is what? Almost different. $10 is what? Almost different. Which is the following statement regarding product X and Y are true? X and Y are true. If the company decides to adopt ABC, price of the product X will change. Is it correct or wrong? No, because what they say, for X, whether you are using the ABC or traditional costing system, almost the price is what? Same. Therefore, that statement is what? Wrong. That statement is what? Wrong. If the company decides to adopt ABC, sales volume of X are likely to remain unchanged. That is correct, no? Because, whether you are coming from the traditional to what ABC, since the price is quite similar, there won't be any problem with the what? Demand. Am I correct? It won't get what? Change, because both method is giving you the what? Same what? Overhead. Then there is no problem with the what? Pricing strategies. Therefore, statement number 2 is what? Correct. Statement number 2 is what? Correct. Next one is statement number 3. Statement number 3. If the company decides to adopt ABC, the price of the product will go down. Do you agree with me? Very, very what? Straightforward questions. If you are going to adopt ABC for product Y, the product Y, it's giving you what? $10 different through the what? ABC. If the production cost is what? Less by $10, automatically you can keep a what? Less selling price. But I can add one more point to make it this part what very clear. If the company introduce a ABC system for product Y, it's a very good move. Why? The product is what? Elastic. Then small price changes, you can get a what? More sales volume. End of the day, you can enhance the what? Profit. This is all about management accounting. This is what we are learning in management accounting. This is the way of what? Improving the performance of the what? Company. We don't do any, here magic. We don't do any magic over here. We are checking the product, whether the product is elastic or inelastic. If you go with the traditional costing system, this is the price. If you go with our activity based costing, we can reduce the price because the way of charging the overhead is what? But at the same time, sometime what? Z would be a what? Inelastic product. You got my point. So this subject is very, very interesting. Completely you can apply where in the practical circumstances. This is the way of what improving what your business ethically. This is the way of improving your business what ethically. But what I'm telling you, whenever you read, whenever you learn, try to learn everything. So the Duff Company, through the Duff Company, we learn a lot. Am I correct? Only one company. It's giving you the what entire picture with regard to the what ABC benefits. I don't want to teach you what are the benefits that are we going to enjoy through the what ABC. This question is teaching you the benefits. Am I correct? The last one, therefore, that answer is also what correct. Last one, a reduced selling price is unlikely to give a rise in increased sales volume. No, likely to what? Increase the sales volume. No, how can you say unlikely to what? Increase the sales volume. Likely to increase the sales volume. Therefore, what is the correct answer? 2 and 3. 2 and 3 would be what? B would be the correct answer. B would be the correct answer. Is that understandable? Is that understandable? Now I'm going to take you all to a small theory-based area, information systems. We will quickly cover that part because most of the part under information system that I'm going to give it to you all for the your personal research references because completely theory-based area. Important point I will discuss where in the class. Later we try to do a one questions under what information system. Right? I would say information system. Most probably, if they are going to test you, you're going to get the question section A or section B. Section B na 10 marks. There will be 5 questions. But quite similar to the theory what is given where in my PowerPoint. You can take the theory, no? Completely theory based area. Therefore, we will try to finish it off quickly and we will jump into the what important costing technique, which is what? Target costing. Target costing. I have brought 120 marks questions and I have brought one section B 10 marks questions under target costing. If time permits, we can do both. Otherwise, at least we will try to cover one. The remaining part we will do it what next class. Right? Are you all okay with all the parts? There's a question from Tahir Siddiq. Tahir Siddiq. Can you all help me to answer for this question? Can you all help me to the answer for this question? So, in case of luxury product demand increases when price is what? Increase. That is exceptional what cases. Not in reality because a coin has two sides. The story has what? Two sides. Am I correct? So, generally, if you are going to increase the price for the what luxury item, the quantity demand what will decrease. That is what is known as elastic demand. The changes, responsiveness of the quantity demand is what very high than the what changes were in the price. Right? But exceptional cases, right? Even though if because the people who are try to maintain their prestige, esteem value, we call it as esteem value. We'll be learning under target costing. Esteem value, people are ready to pay for the what prestige. Even though prices are going up, they are ready to pay. They don't care about that one because they are looking to get a product for a high price. That's we call it as what? Exceptional cases, right? Sorry? Very good answer. In case of what? Perfect inelastic demand. So, I don't like to place a finger on that. It's a different chapter. I'm sure that you would have learned in detail where in economics. We will connect that part with our pricing strategy because we need to set a proper price nowhere in our management accounting. Because of that only, we are linking that part with our discussions, right? I hope you are okay, Tahir. Right. Information system. Information system. What is meant by system? IS information system. What is meant by IT first? Yes, I know information technology. What is meant by IT? IT is a hardware equipment that you have to run the what? IS information system. Agree with me? IT is a hardware that you should have to run the what? Information system. Now we will make it little detail. Excuse me. If you're a management accountant, at the very outset we discuss, you will provide the information to the board of director, right? For them to make right decision at the right time. Before we get started with the information, let me explain what is exactly meant by data. Very good. Data means what? Facts collected from the environment, which is what? Unprocessed informations. Raw. Right? Raw, which is collected from the environment. Now, you tell me, these data can be categorized into two segments. Very good. One is the primary data. Another one is what? Secondary data. What is meant by primary data? The data that you are collecting first time for your own purpose from the original field. Correct? From the original field, first time that you are collecting. What are the sources or what are the ways of collecting the primary data? What are the ways of collecting the primary data? Excuse me, we discussed that homework just before, the three homework I just given with the explanation. Just have a look. Just double check whether you have got the same answer. Right? Right. Primary data, the data that you are collecting first time for your own purposes. Let me know how are we going to collect these primary data? Unknown. Internet is what it's already collected, no? Primary data. Very good. We can go for a surveys. We can go for a questionnaire. We can conduct the interviews. These are the ways of what? Collecting the what? Primary data. Secondary data. What is meant by secondary data? The data has been already collected for some other purposes. Some other purpose. You are going to collect that data for your own purpose, which is known as what? Secondary data. Correct? Secondary data is what you said, what? Internet. Best source of getting the secondary data is what? Internet or newspaper. These are the source of what getting secondary data. Primary data is more reliable. Secondary data is what? Less reliable. Primary data is more time consuming. This is what? Less time consuming. Primary data is what? Expensive. This is what? Less expensive. These are the features of what? Primary data and secondary data. Now, once the collected data is processed, or organized, which is known as what? Informations. There are number of characteristics of what? Good informations. There are number of characteristics. First one is what? It should be accurate. It should be what? Accurate. Second one is what? It should be complete. Third one, cost beneficial. What is meant by cost beneficial? Sometimes you will be getting the benefit less than what you are spending for the information. Therefore, always the information should give you the cost beneficial, right? Next one, very good, understandable. Next one, relevant or reliable. Both are correct. It can be relevant or what? Reliable. Next one, accessible or attainable. Both are correct. Accessible or what? Attainable. Attainable or accessible. Next one, timely. Next one, easy to use. If you take the first letter of each feature characteristic, accurate, this we call it as what? Acronym. This is the characteristics of what? Good informations, right? Clear? Now, if you look at the company takes different decisions. Different company takes what? Different decision. For different decision, they need what? Different information. To take a different decision, they need what? Different information. If you look at top level people, strategic level people, they take always what? Long term decision. Because if you look at the company, there are three levels of what? Management. First one is a top management, or also we can call it as what? Strategic management. Top management, also we can call it as what? Strategic management. Second one is what? Tactical or middle level management or managerial level management. Last one is what? Operational level management. Always to classify this management group, we do come up with a triangular shape. Why triangular? Can't we put it in a circle? Three. Higher? Yes. One reason putting into the what triangular shape, just to exactly identify the hierarchy. It should come from the top to what? Bottom. Second reason, based on the numbers. If you look at the top level people, only what? Very less number. Who are the people top level management? Very good. CEO, directors, right? Chairman. These are the what? Top level people. Second one is what? Tactical or middle level people. Who are the people? Yes, we can say finance manager, right? HR manager, IT manager. These are what? Tactical level people. Last one is what? Operation level people. Who are the people? Employees, which means what? Executives, sales executives, accounts executives. These are what? Operation level people. So different level of management will need what? Different types of what? Information for take what? Different types of what? Decisions. As I said earlier, if you look at the top management, they always focus on what? Strategic decision, long-term decision. Because the top level people always focus about what? Company's vision, mission, corporate objective. They always take the decision to achieve what? This objective. If you look at the strategic decision, it is always one-off decisions. one-off decision. It won't be repeated. To take a top level or strategic decision, these top level people always dealing with the external as well as what? Internal information. For this part only, you remember we talked about what you will be talking about when it comes to APM, Advanced Performance Management. Under that, you will be talking about net present value and all. It's one of the very, very important techniques. Because best example, launching new product. Launching what? New product. That is what? Strategic level decision. Which market are we going to do the operations? Starting up what? New office. This is what? Exactly top level decisions. To take these top level decision, you should have what? Internal information as well as what? External. Say for an example, if you are going to start the new product where in the market, launching a new product where in the market, you should check what is the current demand for what? That particular product. What is the competitor selling price for what? That particular product. That information is what? Needed for what? Top level people. Correct? Second one is what? Middle level. So middle level, what sort of a decision that they take? Level up? Yeah, development. What? How are we going to connect this middle level to what top? If you look at the middle level people, they will develop a tactics. They will develop a, because we call it as what? Tactical management. From that you can get the meaning. Tactical management, which means that management will develop the tactics to achieve what? Long-term objective. So if you look at three layers, top, middle or tactical, operation level, all three levels of the management are what? Interconnected ultimately to achieve what? Company's corporate objective, mission or visions. Now these tactical level people will develop the tactics to achieve what? Long-term objective. So detailed budgeting, cost structure with regard to the what? Products, right? How many employees are needed for particular year? So these are the tasks which would be carried out by the what? Middle level people. Where are we going to get the what? Material. Who are our suppliers? These are the types of a decision which would be done by the what? Tactical level people, right? Or management. The last one is what? Don't forget, for the internal domestic market pricing strategy, which would be developed by the what? Tactical level, not the top level. Internal market pricing strategy, also which would be developed by the tactical level management. Because sometimes the examiner may ask the question as an OTQ, right? They will give you the example and they will ask the question, which part of the management is responsible for what? This particular decisions. That will be what? 4 answers. These are very, very straightforward question. Don't lose to what? Collect the marks for what? These lamest areas. This is one of the lamest topic where in your syllabus. That's the reason they have brought this topic as a what? First topic, first chapter where in your syllabus, right? Therefore, the cost include with regard to the product, detailed budgeting, right? These are the responsible of what? Tactical level people, right? Last one is what? Operational level management. What is meant by operational level? Very good. They are taking the decision with regard to the what? Day-to-day operations or routine process of what? The work, right? This is entirely which would be done by the what? Tend to be the junior management involved. Right? So because these people entirely using the internal information, and how many employees needs to be recruited for following week, right? So these are the types of a decision. How many people that needs to be what trained for this particular week to do what? Your day-to-day operation. These are the types of a decision which would be taken by the operation level people. Is that clear? Right. Now we are moving to little advanced. To take this decision, there are a couple of systems are available where in our practical scenario. This system which would help for this type of a management for decision making. First, let me know what's the difference between system and software. You all must be expert on that. Am I correct? System and software. Are they same? Can we use that terminology interchangeably? But some of the professors who said, I went through the recording even, they said, but the software and the system can be used interchangeably. But I don't agree. Not all, some says. But I believe the software is different from the system. What's the difference between system and software? Software is one component of what? System. System has mainly three components: software, hardware, and network. Software, hardware, and network, all three together we call it as what? System. Software is one component of what? System. Therefore, I don't say what software is what similar to what? System. One first system that we have, TPS, transactional processing system. What is meant by TPS? I'm sorry. What is meant by TPS? Yes, I know transactional processing system. TPS. What it's, what's the duty of this system? This system serves for the what? Operational level management, only giving the what? Data, not the information. By referring this system will serve the what? Capturing the data. Capturing the what? Data. Bulk data which would be captured through the what? TPS, transactional processing. Notes are given where in my tudes. You don't have to worry about it, but if you want, you can take down the short form. That's better. No need to go through the, because we have a one mentality rather going through the entire tudes. If you have developed the what our short notes, that will help us with an example, right? That's very good. If you look at the transactional processing system, that system serves what? Day-to-day routine decision making, right? So here only data will be captured. Data will be captured. How? You remember, before you come to this class, you enrolled. When you were enrolling here, your data is what? Entire data is what? Captured. You all agree with me? Your name, your address, your mobile number, everything is what? That is what is known as TPS, transactional processing system. But sometimes when you are referring the what book or any references, they may use the word of information is captured. No, it's wrong. The transactional processing system, only data will be captured, not the information, right? I can tell you another best example. You will record all the transactions as soon as transaction one taken place where on the TPS. You are going to the supermarket, right? You are buying the goods. After buying the goods, you are swiping the what? Card. When you are swiping the card, all data will be what? Captured. What's your name, right? Then the amount which will be deducted from what your account, everything will be what? Captured. When you are booking the airline, online ticketing, even for that also what? Data will be what? Captured. That is what is taking place where in the transactional processing system. This system which would help to the what? Operational level management. Where you made the payment, where you are dealing now with the what? Staff. You don't deal with the what? Top management. You don't deal with the what? Top management. Therefore, he can access only the data. He can access only the what? Data. He can't go in what? Detail. Right? So that is a summary of what? Transactional processing system. Examiner once, I remember they use the word of elementary activities. Elementary means what? Primary activities, which will be recorded. Elementary activities or primary activities, which will be recorded where under transactional processing system. That system, only data will be captured. Only data will be captured. Right? Second one is, if you look at the tactical level management, they use the two systems. Listen very carefully. Excuse me, I just broke into the what very summary form from what your study text. You try to, refer the study text, bit of a lengthy. Sometimes it's everything is given, it does not properly connect it. If you look at the transactional processing system, it is applicable only for the what? Operational management. Only for the operational management. If you look at the tactical management or the middle level management, they can use the two systems. One is what? Management information system. Another one is what? Very good. Decision support system. MIS, management information system, is a system, listen very carefully, is a system which will convert the bulk of data into what? Information for the tactical level people, for them to take what? Decisions. You can take a planning, decision making and controlling. Bulk data which would be converted into what? Information. That is all about what? MIS, management information system. I will take the small example. Let's say a restaurant using the management information system. If they use the management information system, what they can do is they can identify how many meals saved per day through the system. That system itself, it gives you what are the item which is much more popular for what? For a day. What dishes the customer who is what? Interested. What in the menu do we need to what? Include in future or exclude from the what? Future. That can be obtained by using the what? MIS, management information system. But this system, once again, which will convert the what? Data into information, it is applicable only for the what? Tactical level people. Is that understandable? Is that understandable? If you want, you can take down the short form, capture data and convert into what? Information. Excuse me. If you do not have MIS, management information system, you can't go for a planning, you can't go for a decision making, you can't go for a control. Only MIS system which would help you to go for a what? Planning, decision making and control. Right? Next, can you tell me what is meant by decision support system? DSS. Very close, but not close enough. Online, what is exactly meant by DSS? Decision support system. Decision support system. Once again, DSS also, which is used by the tactical level people. It is capable of converting complex data into what? Information. Complex data. Now the question which would arise, what is exactly meant by complex data? Because you know the data which would be converted into information, that is very straightforward. So how are we going to convert the data into information? By using the what? MIS, Management Information System. But DSS says what? You can convert the what? Complex data into what? Information. What is exactly meant by complex data? This is a little bit of a what? Advanced version of what? MIS. Bit of a what? Advanced version. Have you come across before if analysis, sensitivity analysis? Have you come across before sensitivity analysis? For those technique, this system which would help you. What is meant by if analysis, sensitivity analysis? You remember, let's say your current selling price is $10. You are making a profit of what? $10,000. Because there are number of what activities which would take place in between what selling price and the what profit. You have to purchase the raw materials, right? There are number of expenses which would be involved, right? Finally, you are be getting in the profit of what? 10,000. In case if you are increasing the selling price from 10 to what 15, what would happen to your sales? Right? What would happen to what your profit? That can be obtained by referring the what? Decision support system. Right? Because that is a one of the system which is available, because we will be learning what is exactly meant by sensitivity analysis. Through this system, without doing the what manual calculation, you would be able to get the numbers for what? Decision making. Numbers for what? Decision making. This system will help you for what? Decision making. Got my point? Very soon, I don't know, the changes are taking place where in the market rapidly. Very soon, I don't have to come to India. With the help of what AI, you can get the session by using my voice itself. Am I correct? I don't know how far that is successful. Shall I tell you the one best example? I'm pretty much sure that you knew about ChatGPT, correct? ChatGPT, because when I'm giving, say, one example, one questions, I'm dictating you all the questions. I'm telling you how to get me the answer for this question. What you would do? You tell me the truth. If you are busy with the work, I'm telling you, I won't take you to the class if you do not come up with the what answer. Quickly, what you would do, you will put the questions in the ChatGPT, but you have to be very careful with the numbers. Some numbers are not giving the accurate answer. Some you are getting the accurate answer. Some of the question I checked, some of the question is giving you the what wrong answer, but that's keep on updating. They're updating. Still the pros are going on, but very soon that will be sorted. But come back to the point. So you will bring the answer from the what? ChatGPT. Will you be learning end of the day? You tell me the truth. You won't be learning anything. So due to this what system, basically our knowledge would be what restricted. End of the day, you are getting the answers. You won't develop yourself. Even if you are having some problem where in company, your director may tell you to what? Get the solution for the problem. You will type all your problem where in the ChatGPT. ChatGPT will give you the what? Solution. You will come up with this, but you won't do anything end of the day. Am I correct? So there are some, once again, pros and cons with regard to what? Any new technology, right? So decision support system is what one of the best system that you can use, even Excel sheet and all. Through that only it is done, decision support system. Third system, executive information system, EIS. What is the EIS? This will help to go for a what? Strategic decision making. This will entirely focus on the what? Strategic decision making. Here, what this EIS will do, it will convert the internal and external data into what? Information, very summary form. It's very what? Summary form for a strategic people, top level people for decision making. Listen very carefully. Don't get me wrong. it is not compulsory to be a qualified person to become a top level management. Do you agree with me? As long as you have money, you can start up a business. You are the owner of the business. You are the director of the business. Under you, even the management account is working. Even the management account will be paid from what? Your money. End of the days, money has a supreme power. That's the different story. We don't go for that extent. Therefore, these EIS, what will happen? These EIS will give you the always visual presentations, graphical view. For EIS only, they are using what pie charts. Say for an example, you are doing a daily sales, right? You're doing a sales for, let's say, for a whole world. If you do a sales quickly, that will be entered via TPS, transactional processing system. Agree with me? So if the top level person needs to obtain the information with regard to only what is the sales for what, let's say to China, what is the because you are doing the sale for, let's say, for 7 continents. You're doing a sale for the 7 continents. So each and every day there will be a sales that is entered where in the TPS. But the top management need to get the clear picture with regard to only China. What is the total sales for the China? What he will do is he will press the click button of what? Sales. Then drill down from the pie chart, he will get what? Only for Asia. Further, if he drill down, he will be getting the sales only from what? China through the what? Visual presentations. That is all about what? The best example, cricket scorecard. Sometimes the run rate that card, that is what? Visual presentations of what the performance. What is the required rate of return? Sorry, rate of run. Am I correct? Overs remaining, right? Current what? Run rate. Current run rate. That is all about what? EIS. Also, through the EIS, it will show you the what? KPIs. Key performance indicator. What is meant by KPI? I know key performance indicator. But what is exactly meant by the key performance indicator and CSF, critical success factors? We have one topic, don't worry about that. We will be discussing that part in detail when it comes to what balanced scorecard. So what is exactly meant by, you have heard about this terminology before. KPIs and the word CSF, critical success factors and key performance indicator. Critical success factor is a what? Qualitative what? Performance measurement. Say for an example, customer satisfaction. The way of calculating critical success factor is what? Key performance indicator. How are we going to identify the customer satisfaction? That is through the what? Customer compliance. That is what KPI is. Sales is what? Critical success factor. Profit is what? Critical success factor. The way of finding or identifying the what? Sales growth or the profit growth is what? Key performance indicator. Key performance indicator is completely the what? Quantitative statement. Quantitative statement. That is, of course, which is given by the what? This EIS. Right? EIS, Executive Information System. Executive Information System, which would give you the what? Summarized form of what? Your information. It will convert the data, internal and external data, into what? Summarized form of what? Information. Most often, dashboard. Most often, it would come with the what? Graphs. Then only it's easy for top management to understand the picture with regard to the what? Company's performances. That is all about what? EIS. Right? With that, ERP. What is meant by ERP? Enterprise Resource Plan. It is a not system, it is a software. Enterprise resource planning is what? software, it's not a system. That's software which will integrate all the functional department under one umbrella. Enterprise resource planning, it's a software which will integrate all the function department under one umbrella, under one thing. Which means if you record one transaction under accounting department, let's say you are purchasing the raw material from the supplier. As soon as you purchase the raw material from the supplier, you will enter. When you enter this transaction, all the other department can access. It is integrated within the what? Department function. Within the department function. That is all about what? But most often this is used for the supply chain management. Supply chain management. Instead of using a separate tools for the what different department, we are going to use the one tool which will be applied or used to access the what all information with regard to the company's process. If you are purchasing the raw material from the supplier, the accounting department will enter that transaction. Then the store can access that information. Then the finance department can access that information. Only once it has to be what entered, everyone can what sees that information. That is all about what enterprise resource planning. That is one of the software. Right? Next one is customer relationship management. That is also one of the software. This software is dedicated only connected to the transaction with about your customer details, customer past sales, right? Customer's history. So you would have seen this part where with your banks, bank is using this software, customer relationship management software. Why I'm telling that? Let's say you are getting an ATM card from the X bank, SDIB bank, right? One X bank, you are getting an ATM card. You have not used this card for 3 to 4 months time, right? After some time, if you are not using that card, you will be getting the message from the bank. Your card is going to get what expire, or since you have not done any transaction with the bank, we are going to what close your account. That is the best example about what customer relationship management. By using that software, the company can access the whole history with regard to the what customer relations. That is what is known as customer relationship management. Is that clear? Right. Now the last part of what our discussion, big data. What is meant by big data? Big data. What is meant by big data? You have come across this terminology before, big data. Any data which is accessible and available. Any data which is what? Accessible and available is known as what? Big data. Anything. Sometimes it's come from the what internet. Sometimes it's from the newspaper. Or sometimes it's from the what book or article. Any data which is what? Accessible and available is known as what? Big data. But big data has a few features. First one is what? Don't forget, this would be tested sometime in the exam. There are 5 features. Earlier book, it was said only 4 features. Now they made it to 5. First one is volume. Huge amount of data. The big data is what? The data wise, the volume wise is what? Very big. Very big. That's why we say it's what? High volume of what? Data. Big data. Second one is what? Velocity. What is meant by velocity? Very good. High speed of what? Accumulations of what? Data. High speed of what? Accumulations of data. We call it as what? Velocity. What about what variety? Yeah, different format of data for various purposes. Different forms of data for what? Various purposes. We call it as what? Variety. Next one is what? Veracity. What is meant by veracity? Inconsistent. Uncertainty of what? Data. That's we call it as what? Veracity. Last one is what? Value. It should be extract for useful data. Extract for useful data. Please make a note on that in your short form. That will be better because sometimes the examiner may give you the questions as an what? OTQ. Right? Big data features. First take down what? But anyway, given in detail where in my PowerPoint tudes, but take down the short form. Big data features. First one is volume. Volume. Huge amount of data. Volume means what? Huge amount of data. Next one is velocity. Velocity. High speed of accumulations of data. High speed of accumulations of data. VELOCI. Next one is variety. 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 Because the name itself is giving you the meaning. In case if you forget in the exam, Raja, do you have a problem? Raja? Raja, do you have any questions? Raja, don't worry, no worries. I have shared everything to the management. I will check with regard to what are the documents that they have shared to you through element. Only tubes. Tubes in the sense. Can I have a look on that? Just get me a second. Get me a second, Raja. I just want to check what they have uploaded to you all. It was uploaded yesterday. Raja, it has been uploaded, no? I'm sure it has been uploaded very first day. All the notes are uploaded. Next one is what? Variety. Did I? Variety. Different format of data from various sources. Various sources. Next one is veracity. Veracity. Inconsistencies and uncertainty in data. Inconsistencies and uncertainty in data. inconsistencies and uncertainty in data. Uncertainty. Last one, value. We call it as 5 V's, right? Value. Extract useful data. Extract useful data. Put a star mark and write under big data. Excuse me. Most of the airline industries are using what? Big data. Because there are a number of passengers in the worldwide, right? And getting the route for different destinations. Oh, most of the airline industry, right? It is what desperately needed. For them, it's what desperately needed, but big data. Otherwise, it will be a problem for they to do what operations. So I think one case which has been given in your study text, one case is being given with regard to the what airline industry, which they are using about what is big data, right? Put a star mark and write. Important point. Extremely large and complex set of data. Extremely large and complex set of data. Extremely under big data, right? Extremely large and complex set of data that cannot be easily managed or processed. Large and complex data that cannot be easily managed or processed using traditional data tools and methods. Traditional data tools and methods. This is because it has been introduced with the specialized tool. It has been introduced with specialized tool. Such as Hadoop, Spark Cloud. Spark Cloud. These are the tools that they are using to manage what? Big data. Because it's not it's like a terabyte. Am I correct? Not gigabyte. Am I correct? It's almost what? Terabyte. Zillions of what? Data will be entered. By using what? These type of tools. They can manage the data and they can process it. This is the summary of what information system. Some additional information being given where in my tudes. Then you can go through it, and later on this part we will try to do couple of questions under what information system. Let's get started with a very, very important area, target costing. Right. Before we get started with the target costs, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Then only we can tackle 20 marks target costing question. We'll be doing one 20 marks and one 10 marks question under target costing, right? First, let me know what is meant by margin. What is meant by profit margin? Second one is what is meant by profit markup, right? Third one is what is meant by normal losses, and what is meant by idle time. This is the ideal time to learn idle time, right? We will be discussing this idle time in depth when it comes to standard costing as well. Standard costing as well, right? You don't worry about that part. Let's get started with the profit margin. I'll ask you the simple question. I need to get the answer from you all, right? Let's say cost $150. Profit margin 10%. Profit margin 10%, right? What is the profit and selling price? Margin 10%. Cost is $150. What is the profit and what is the selling price? I need answer from everyone. Infinite. I want to start up that business only when I get an infinite profit. I need answer from everyone. Please concentrate. How are we going to calculate the profit here? Very, very lamest example that I put on the board screen. $15. One answer that I got as for 15. Is it correct? Two different answers. Why? No idea. Excuse me. Don't forget. I'll give you the very, very short form of calculating margin and markup. Listen very carefully. It's easy for you to get any type of answers where in the exam. This will not be tested where in the exam as about how to calculate margin or how to calculate markups. It would be tested with another topic. Sometimes it will be tested with your activity based costing. Calculating total cost of the product, and they will tell you company operates always with a 15% margin. Then what is the selling price? Or sometimes it would be tested with the target costing. That is what I'm going to do now, target costing, right? So I'll explain to you, just have a look. If it is markup, it is calculated from what? Tahir, your answer is wrong. Cost or cost of sales plus profit equals to what? Selling price. If the question says markup, cost is always 100. It is calculated from the cost. Markup means it is calculated from the what? Cost. Let's say the question says the markup is 10%. Markup is 10%. Then the cost is always what? 100. Then the profit is what? 10%. Therefore, selling price is obviously 110%. Let's say this is $1,000. Then this would be $100. This is what? $1,100. The problem that we have where in the exam, examiner says markup, they won't give you the cost. They say the markup is 10%. Selling price is 2,200. So what you would do is in the exam, quickly 2,200 times 10%, which is what? 220 as a what? Profit. You're wrong. Because if the question says markup, as I have told you clearly, it is always calculated from the what? Cost. Markup. Cost. Then the selling price would be how many percent? 110%. 110% is how much? 2,200. $200. Then what is 10%? That would give you this is 200. What is 100%? That would give you this is 2000. Is that understandable? Markup. Are you okay? Markup. Sure. Tahir. Tahir Siddiq. Is that understandable? Raja? Right, okay. Let's talk about margin. Margin. Whenever the question says margin, the profit is expressed from the selling price. Profit is calculated from what? Selling price. In other words, selling price is always what? 100. Selling price is always what? 100. So therefore, selling price minus profit equals to what? Cost or cost of sales. Correct? If you say selling price is 100, let's say the margin 20%, example 20%, then the profit would be how many percent? 20%. Then the cost of sales is how much? 80%. If you say this is what $500, this should be what? $100. Therefore, the cost would be $400. The problem that we have, examiner would say the margin, they won't give you the what selling price. Instead of the selling price, they will give you what? Cost. Let's say the margin is 20%, cost is $800. The same type of questions only that I have asked from you all, right? So if you say the margin is 20%, the cost is how many percentage? 80%. Now 80% is what? 800 as what cost this is? 80% is what? 800. What is 20%? That would give you what? $200. What is 100? That would give you what? 1000. Is that understandable? Is that understandable? Clear? Cost, that is. 800 is what? Cost. Now, we will go back to my questions, what I have given to you all. Just have a look. I said what the cost is what 150, margin is what 10%, and the profit or selling price. You tell me, if they would have given you margin, cost is how many percentage now? Very good, very good. Now 90, because you know here the formula would be selling price minus profit equals to what? Cost. Now they have given, if you say selling price is 100, profit is what 10%, the cost would be what 90%. Now the 90% is how much? $150. Agree with me based on the questions. 90% is $150. What is 10%? As you said, that is how much? 66 something. Now the selling price would be 166.66. Are you all clear with Sanjana? Your answer is also wrong, Sanjana. Sanjana, now are you okay? Sanjana and Tahir, are you all okay? Thank you. Sanjana? Guys, are you all okay? Do you have any problem? Margin markup? Let me know, I can explain again. Don't be shy. Are you okay? Excuse me. Yeah, margin. Okay, don't forget. If the question says margin, selling price is always 100. What is exactly meant by selling price? Selling price minus profit equals to what? Cost. Or cost plus profit equals to selling price. right? If you say selling price is 100, the margin profit is what? 10%. That is what is known as margin based on the question. Then if you say the selling price is 100, profit is 10%, then what is the percentage of cost? 90. Let's say the cost, they say the margin is 20%, then once again selling price would be 100. Then the cost would be how many percent? 80%. 80% is what? This. That is what they have given, cost $150. What is what? Profit. Clear? Second one is normal loss or normal losses. I'll put it this way. Small example, right? Let's say this is my bottle. I'm not good in art. This is my bottle, right? My bottle, own bottle. This bottle will contain 2 liters of liquid. Right? Right? 2 liters of liquid. When you are filling liquid into the bottle, when you are filling, right? I mean this bottle, right? There will be a loss of what? 10% due to the what? Wastage and evaporations. Yeah. Normal loss. Yeah, normal loss. Abnormal loss. Normal. Very good. Because abnormal loss means more than what we have expected. That is what is known as abnormal loss. Abnormal gain means what? Opposite of what? Abnormal loss. I'm sure that you would have done that part where I knew process costing, I believe. Management accounting. Forget about that part. Right? Very, very simple questions. Bottle will contain 2 liters liquid, right? When you are filling the liquid into the bottle, right? There is a loss of what? 10%. Liquid cost is $10 per liter. Liquid cost is what? $10 per liter. As far as the company is concerned, what is the purchase cost of what liquid? What is the purchase cost of liquid? Question is open for everyone. Think, come up with as a management accountant or management accounting students. I got one answer from Uma. Uma says what? $18. Another answer I have got as what? $22. Excuse me, why I'm explaining all this part? This is much more needed when it comes to the next chapter. If you look at the total process of management accounting, that is what step-by-step process. First, you would have learned something where in the year one, first part of the management accounting, knowledge level. Then only the one, skill level. Since you have, most of them have got the exams and joining the what skill level, you don't know what exactly is there where in the knowledge level. These are where in the knowledge level. Just to start the target costing, the chapter, otherwise you will, for that place I have to explain one by one, right? Just to start the target costing only, I'm just putting all these basic stuff. I'll give you 2 minutes. Can you get me the correct answer, please? Just think. Uma says 18. Right, okay.
Pouring your saying or before pouring?
My question is very, very clear. My question is very clear. What I'm telling you all, right? Bottle will contain 2 liter, right? Then when you are filling the liquid into the bottle, there's a loss of what? 10% due to the what? Wastage and the evaporation. Wastage and the evaporation. My question, as far as the company is concerned, what is the liquid cost? Every 1 liter, the cost is what? $10. Right. I will put it this way. Just have a look. You will understand further on this. First, you will purchase the material from what? Your supplier. Do you agree with me? From the material that you purchase, there's a loss. Correct? The remaining would be where in your bottle. Correct? If you say the purchase is 100, the loss is what? 10%. Then bottle is what? Only 90%. Therefore, 90% is what? 2 liters. Then what is what? Purchase, which is what? 100%. How many liters? 2 point? Just check 2 liter divided by 90 times 100. Use your operator machine. Pull out, your calculator. 2 point? Exactly. No, I need exact answer, not 2.2. Yeah, that's the answer. If you say 2.2, you're wrong. It should be what? 2.22 liter, right? The rate is what? 10. $22.22. Shall I tell you what you did? Your answer is wrong. I can prove it to you. What you did was you calculated 10% from the 2 liter. Excuse me. That's correct, Umar. You have calculated 10% from 2 liter. That is what 2 liters what loss. Then with the 2 liter, you have added what? That 0.2 liter. That's wrong. That is wrong. Loss is not from what is in the 2 liter liquid. The loss is what you purchase from the supplier. If I would have changed the figure, all answer will get changed. You are getting the what very, very what close answer because of the what numbers. What you all did was, I know what you all did was you calculated 10% from the 2 liter, then you got 0.2 liter. Then you said what? 2.2 liter as a what material cost. Then every 1 liter the cost is 10. Then you said what? 22. Then you are wrong. You tell me, first you tell me, the loss is from the what is in the bottle or loss is from what you purchase from the supply. That is what I did in my working. First you will purchase the material. From the purchase quantity, after loss only you will put it to the what bottle, no? The bottle would be after loss, no? That is how many percentage? 90%. But if you would have calculated this way, I'm showing that one also. How? 2 liter, 10%, which is what? 0.2 liter. Then that will be added with the 2 liter. 2 liter plus 0.2 liter, which is total 2.2 liter times 10, which is what? 22. That is wrong. That is wrong. You would have got what very close answer because of what the figure what I have given to you all. Right? The correct answer would be $22.22, not 22. Are you clear with the questions? Yeah. Yeah. Put them forward. Yeah, because your ACCA paper, it should be given in the form of what? Dollars. No, I don't understand your questions.
$10 per liter.
That is the rate. Every 1 liter, company is supposed to make the payment to supplier $10. Every 1 liter, when you are purchasing from what your supplier, your cost is what? $10. But here, what I did was first I found how many liter that I'm going to purchase from them and supply. That is how many liter? 2.22 liter. Every 1 liter, the cost is what? 10. Then 2.2 liter times what? 10? $22.22. The total material cost as far as the company is concerned. Is that understandable? Is that clear? Online? Right. What is meant by idle time? Correct. Why? Why? Why are we going to be paid without working? Yeah, very close, very close. Answer is correct. The employees would be paid for no work. Employees would be paid for what? No work. That is what is known as idle time. Why do you want to make the payment without work? The problem that is going to come through what company side, not from the employee side. I can tell you the best example about me. I was supposed to start the class today morning 8 o'clock. Example, for instance, right? Let's say I'm paid based on the number of hours. So I'm supposed to finish the class by 12:30 or 1 o'clock. It's easy for us to do the calculation in whole numbers. Let's say from 8 to 1. So then I will be paid end of the day for 5 hours. Am I correct? 8 to 1, 5 hours. I came to the class on time. I came on time. 8 o'clock. Office was closed. Staff got late to come for the class. Then they opened the office only 9 o'clock. Then I'm going to do the lectures for how many hours? 4 hours. Will I be paid for 4 hours or 5 hours? Because that's not my fault. That's not what? My fault. The fault is coming from the what? Company side. That is what is known as idle time. As far as the company is concerned, the idle time is loss. That happens. One is due to the what? Machines breakdown. Do you all agree with me? Is it an employee's fault or employee's fault? Employees. Unavailability of material. You have come to the office on time to do production, but there's no what material where in the company to produce the product. Is it your fault? Once again, no. Let's say poor demand where in the market. Since there's no market where in the demand, company has taken the decision not to produce a product. Is it your fault once again? No. Technical difficulties, power failure, right? Some other related issues. And strike is another reason for what? Idle time. But the strike is applicable only for the what decent strike. I don't know how it's happening where in India, but I'm just telling the truth. But UK and all Europe countries, we can write down strike as one of the reasons for the what idle time, because you can go for a strike only when if the employer already who promised something but they are not fulfilling the what promises, then you can go for a strike. That's a valid reason. You can't go for a strike of requesting something. Some other country, what they try to do is we are looking for an increment, therefore we are going for a strike. That's the wrong route, right? But you can go or you can get involved with the what strike only when if the employer owner who is not fulfilling the what promises. Therefore, strike also one of the reason for the what idle time. You can write down where since you are doing ACCA UK based paper. These are the reason for the what idle time. If there is an idle time, paid hours is different from what work hours. The different we call it as what idle time. Or worked hours we can also call it as what effective hours. Effective hours. Clear? That's a summary of what idle time. Let's say employees effective hours is what 20 hours, right? During this production process there is an idle time of what 20% idle time, right? Labor rate $5 per hour. What is the total labor cost? What is the total labor cost? I'll give you 2 minutes. Can you try quickly? Excuse me. I want to ask a small question. Some of the students have got confused. Not with regard to this question, but regard to the what? Overheads. What are the examples for the direct material? What are the examples for the direct material? Raw material. Of example for the direct cost, variable cost. Direct cost, mother name is variable cost. Direct material, direct labor, direct expenses. You remember what is exactly meant by material? Any material which is directly connected to the product or service, direct material. Labor means any labor force which is directly connected. Direct expense. Or another name is what? Variable overhead. Another name is for the direct expense is what? Variable. Don't get confused the word of what overhead. Variable overhead. Another name of what? Direct expense. What are the example for that? Very good. Royalties payment, franchise charges, designing charges, right? Then you remember if you would have hired any special equipment hire charges. These are what? Direct expenses. All direct common name is what? Prime cost. That is what I have taught you, no? Did I teach you anywhere that rent is what direct cost? No. All the indirect combination we call it as what? Production overhead. Indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expense. The indirect expenses only rent, electricity, telephone, insurance, depreciation, maintenance. There are number of expenses indirect. All indirect common name is what? Overhead. Therefore, all these rents, electricity, telephone, everything will comes under what? Overheads. Right? What's the answer for these questions? Right, okay. Just have a look. Total hours minus idle time worked or effective hours. Agree with me? Worked or effective hours. If you say the total hours is 100, if you say total hours is 100, from that 10% as what? Sorry, 20% as what? Idle time. Therefore, the worked effective hours would be 80%. That is how many hours? 20 hours. Therefore, 80% is what? 20 hours. What is 100? That would give you how much? 25 hours is the paid hours at the rate of how much? 5. Then how much? Clear? Right. Let's take a break. Right after the break, we can get started with the what? Target costing. Target costing. I'll tell you to take a snapshot. Enjoy करो, enjoy करो.